How do you become more decisive as a man? So I want to address this topic because a lot of clients and guys that I talk to regularly ask me this question and are wondering in their own lives, how could I just be more decisive and not overthink as much as I do. You might just be finding yourself going along with what your boss wants or what your girlfriend wants or what your parents want, right? Instead of actually deliberating on what you want and actually taking action with what you want. Because I would assume that you have the case of like you already have things that you want to do, but you just have trouble taking action, and maybe there's some fear there, maybe there's some perfectionist mentality, or there's just too much options and you just don't know which way to go, right? So it's helpful to understand things in polarity. So on one hand, we have people that are action takers, right? And then there's other people that are overthinkers, and you're probably leaning. Now, today I want to focus on the overthinking side. But action takers, the positives of being action takers is they take quick action, they get results. The downside is they make a lot of mistakes because they don't necessarily think about what they're doing. But on the overthinking side, the positive is that we deliberate, and I tend to lean in this category. So the positives are that you actually have thought a lot about certain actions you want to take, certain goals you have, or certain directions you want to go in life, and you've probably done a lot of research and have a lot of knowledge about it. But the downside is that there's just so much analysis that it gets you in this state of paralysis, right? Where you're just like, you doubt yourself constantly, you doubt going this direction, that direction, so you don't actually move much in your life, you don't take much action, and therefore you find yourself in a similar position year after year after year. So every new year you're thinking, okay, this year's going to be different, but you find yourself in more or less the same type position. And like I said earlier, you tend to go along with others' thinking. So maybe you go back to school because you think, well, everyone else is going back to school. My parents are telling me to go back to school. And instead of like actually deliberating and thinking, is this going to be the best for me, or thinking about an alternative route that actually is going to reach to what you want to do. To get out of this overthinking state, what you have to do is you have to lean on the other extreme, right? So if your tendency is way over here of overthinking, you have to just lean on the other polarity, lean on just taking action. And what that's going to do is just going to balance you in the middle, where you're taking action, but you're also reflecting, you've also thought about it, but you're just moving yourself on the spectrum more towards the middle by focusing way over here. So taking action, it starts small, right? And so the mindset to really have with this is there's really no good or bad action to take, right? We're within a certain boundaries of what we value, right? So obviously you don't want to do anything illegal, and you don't want to hurt people, right? You're a conscious guy and you're conscious of these things. So as long as actions you take aren't affecting these things, that you find value and you have boundaries around, then there's really no good or bad. Every action you take is just going to have a positive and negative to it. It's like moving to another city. There's going to be positives and negatives to that place. Like I live in Long Beach, California. The positives are this beautiful weather. I have a wonderful community here. The negatives are it's a concrete jungle. People are stressed out, all of that. So it's just there's positives and negatives to whatever decisions you make. And so you have to weigh those out and then take action based on what you find clarity on in your own life and what you believe is going to be best for you. It's helpful to have mentors and friends that you can get feedback from, make sure you're actually thinking clearly about these things. That's the mindset to have. There's really no good or bad action to take, but the idea is that you're going to have to take action no matter what. Even not acting, just overthinking is an action we're taking. So, and the negatives of that, like I said, we don't take much action in our life, and we don't pursue our goals, or we don't actually pursue a life that we're wanting to build for ourselves. Because this is all about empowering you. You're not going to feel satisfied if you're not pursuing what's important to you. You're not taking action with what's actually important to you. So that's my whole mission in life, is to help you do that. In order to get out of this state of overthinking, that mindset helps of there's no good or bad as long as I'm just within this confines of my boundaries with the law, with hurting other people, etc., then it makes taking decisions much easier. And what you want to do is you want to just it takes a lot of mental energy to make a decision. And so what you want to do is you want to not have to think so deeply and analytically about simple decisions. So if you live a very regulated life, if you have a regulated routine where you're going to the gym at certain times a day, you're eating certain things at certain times a day, then this just cuts out all of the mental energy that's required to make certain what we're wanting to do in a day, right? It becomes an automatic habit. So that's the first thing is having a routine that actually works for you, and you can cut out making a lot of decisions from it because it's just second nature. It's what you do throughout your day, and then you could think about other things. That's important. So another thing that's important is just start making decisions. Just start making micro decisions. Like I said, lean more on the action-oriented side of things, and just think about that. Intend that when your mind is thinking about what I should do about something, or I have to make a decision coming up, so what should I do about it? Just take action. And these are just small things like, do I want to go to a cafe today, or do I want to stay inside? Do I want to stay at home today? Right? Just choose, because good or bad, like, yeah, there's positives, negatives. We don't have to think about, well, what am I going to do there? Are there going to be a lot of people there? And our mind just gets stuck in that, and then we don't even do anything. We don't go anywhere, right? We don't even make a decision. We just stay in our spot where we are now. Just make a decision. Just take action. Stop thinking so much and just do it. I remember when I was traveling and selling books every day, we would literally be approaching students at university campuses, cold approaching, just like walking up to a student and trying to sell them a book, right? And literally every single day, my mind would fight me so much getting out of the van, out of my van with my book bag and going and approaching a student. And my mentor at the time, he had this saying, like, you got to be faster than your mind. And so he would just like eat breakfast. We do our meditation, we do our program. He would eat breakfast and then just like get out the door. And so that's really what is required, is sometimes you just got to go faster than the mind. So a decision pops up. Okay, what am I going to do at 12 o'clock today? Should I make lunch here, or should I go out to eat? Let me just go out to eat. Let me just start getting ready, go out to eat. Just make that decision quickly. And this is going to start, the reason why I'm saying this is just start making micro decisions quickly. It's just going to start building up that muscle to where you're not staying stuck and overthinking things. Just like I said, we're just wanting to lean more on the action taking side, because our nature is more analytical and more to overthink. So we would just want to lean on the other side. It's going to balance us in the middle. Okay. So these are some tips how to just start making decisions, be more decisive. If it comes up in your relationship where you're having difficulty making decisions, women generally are, women in their feminine energy are generally indecisive, right? Because they're based on feelings. Well, I feel like I want to eat pizza today, or I feel like I want to eat Chinese, or I feel like I want to cook today. And so they have, just based on feeling, so much emotion in the moment, and they're generally more impulsive, whereas men can be more reflective, more rational when they're making decisions. And so as a man in a relationship, your role is to be decisive, to make decisions for the betterment of the relationship. And so if you're having trouble making decisions in a relationship, start by doing this for a date night, right? Instead of overthinking, should I do this, should I do that? Just research something think about something you want to do with your woman. Like maybe you want to, in Long Beach here, there's a swan ride. It's like you could paddle together on a swan on a lake, and there's like lights there's Christmas lights on it, and as soon as you go at night, it's like romantic and beautiful, right? So instead of asking her what she wants to do, is this going to be okay with you? Just say, hey, be ready by 7 p.m. and we're going to have a romantic evening together. and she's gonna be like, oh wow, this is she's gonna appreciate that. She's gonna respect that because you're being decisive. You're planning something for both of you, and she's gonna be very attracted to that in you. So that's one thing that I've took to heart in relationship is I used to be one who overthought things and asked my girl what she wanted to do and like made sure everything was okay. But now, having done some work on myself and realizing like I have to create, as a man who's wanting to be in his masculine and be able to provide a wonderful relationship and lead the relationship, I need to make decisions like this and allow myself to take the lead in the relationship. And every time I've done that, it's always been met with appreciation and respect. So just start taking more action today. The idea is you just lean more on action taking. You can do that by creating less actions you need to take for yourself by having a consistent routine. And then also just start taking micro actions. Just start taking action. Stop thinking so much and just start doing it, right? Nike, just do it. And that's going to help a lot.